tight times means lima beans instead of roast beef, a trip to the sprinkler instead of the lake. But family love makes things go all right, even when times are tough. Y'all, this book really hits close to home. That is the blurb of our story this evening, Tight Times by Barbara Shook Hazen, right here on Just One More Storytime with Alliana. This morning I asked Mom, "Why can't I have a dog?" "Not now," she said, "not again, and not to bother her when she's busy." So I asked Daddy, "Why can't I have a dog? Last year you said I can have one when I was bigger, and I'm a lot bigger, see? So why not now?" "Because of tight times," said Daddy. He said I was too little to understand. "I'm not too little," I said. Daddy said he'd give me a shoulder ride and tell me all about it at breakfast. He said tight times are when everything keeps going up. I had a balloon that did that once. Daddy said tight times are why we all eat Mr. Bulk instead of cereals in little boxes. I like little boxes better. Daddy said tight times are why we went to the sprinkler last summer instead of the lake. I like the lake better. Daddy said tight times are why we don't have a roast beef on Sunday. Instead, we have soupy things with lima beans. I hate lima beans. If I had a dog, I'd make him eat mine. Daddy said tight times are why Mrs. McIntosh picks me up after school instead of Mommy, because of Mommy's job. Mommy was more fun. Mrs. McIntosh isn't good at games, and she never wants to watch what I want on TV. I'd trade her for a dog any day. This afternoon, something funny happened. Daddy came home in the middle of the day. I was making up a new game, and Mrs. McIntosh was watching her program. Daddy looked mad. He said something to Mrs. McIntosh, and she left. Then Daddy fixed us both special drinks. He said he wasn't mad at me. He said he was mad because he'd lost something. I said, "Look behind the radiator, because that's where I found my lost puzzle piece." Daddy said it wasn't that simple. What he'd lost was his job. I'm just getting kind of emotional thinking about that. Then Mommy came home. She gave me a candy bar and said she wanted to talk to Daddy. She said I can go outside and sit on the front steps, but not to go near the street, no matter what. Mrs. McIntosh never let me do that. I was just sitting on the steps when I heard something. It sounded like it was coming from the trash can. It sounded like someone crying. It kept on crying. So I walked over and looked under the lid. There was something in there. It was a cat. I don't know how it got in, but a nice lady helped me get it out. I never saw such a skinny little cat. I gave it some of my candy bar, but it wouldn't eat. The nice lady said to give it a saucer of milk. I asked the lady if it was her cat. She said no. She said I could keep it if I wanted. Wow, what a nice lady. I ran all the way up the stairs. I tiptoed into the kitchen. I tried to be quiet, but the milk was way up too high. It tipped and made a terrible mess. Mommy and Daddy ran out of the room. Daddy looked funny. He looked at the cat, then he looked at me. "What's that?" he asked. "It's a cat," I told him. "A nice lady said I could keep it, and I didn't go near the street." Then something sort of scary happened. Daddy started to cry. So did Mommy. I didn't know Daddy's cried. I didn't know what to do. Then they both made a sandwich hug with me in the middle. So I started to cry. Then Daddy said, "Okay, you can keep it. Only one thing. I never want to hear another word about your wanting a dog, ever. Okay, I said. After dinner, Daddy asked me what I was going to call my cat. Dog, I said, because I always wanted one, even if I don't anymore. Dog's a great cat. She's good at games, and she likes to tickle me with her chin whiskers. I sure hope Dog likes lima beans. And there you have it, Tight Times. I hope you enjoyed listening to the story as much as I enjoyed reading it to you. I know for a lot of people this might hit close to home. It's something that you can relate to personally, and I know in my family that this is something that we've experienced before. But I like the message of the story. It's about really making the most out of a terrible situation, finding the light in darkness, and just trying to carry on when you think you can't. So I hope this book brings you some encouragement and some hope. If you are new to my channel, thank you so much for coming by. I post a story every Sunday. If you are a returning viewer, thank you so much for your support and coming back for just one more. And as always, please give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed listening to it. If you haven't subscribed, please click on that red button and subscribe so that way you get notified every time I have a video up. And if you know someone that could benefit from hearing this story, go ahead and share it with them. I also wanted to show you a really neat feature now in my videos. At the very bottom, I have a direct link to all the books that I read on this channel. So if you really want a copy and you really enjoyed one of the stories, you can make a direct purchase with no extra cost or anything. But what is really neat about it is that any purchase that you make makes a small contribution to this channel, so that way I can continue to buy more books for Camila and Junior's library, and in turn share these books and stories on the channel. So go ahead and check out those links. Again, my name is Alliana, and this is just one more Storytime with Alliana. Everyone be safe, and I'll catch y'all next Sunday. Bye.